Hayat Boumeddiene, born the 26th of June 1988, is currently being sought by French police as a suspected accomplice of her common-law husband Mehdi Koulibaly, who was the main suspect for the Mount Rouge shooting, in which municipal police officer Clarissa Jean-Philippe was shot and killed, and was the hostage-taker and gunman in the port of Vincennes siege, in which he killed 4 hostages and was killed by police. According to Koulibaly's attorney, she was the more radical of the two. She is currently being sought by French police as a suspected accomplice of Koulibaly, alleged to have helped him commit his attacks. She arrived in Turkey 5 days before the attacks, was described by newspapers as France's most wanted woman, and was last tracked on the 10th of January 2015 to the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant-controlled border town of Tel Abyad in Syria. Hayat Boumeddiene, who was killed in the later Paris attacks, was a fan of hers and lauded her on Facebook. Though not yet captured, Boumeddiene would be convicted in absentia by a French court in December 2020 and handed a 30-year prison sentence. Biography. Boumeddiene was born into an Algerian immigrant family of 7 children, in Villiers-sur-Marne in the eastern suburbs of Paris. Her mother died when Boumeddiene was 8. She and some of her siblings were subsequently taken into foster care. Her father was an infrequent visitor, even more so apparently after he remarried when she was 12. She told detectives that she changed garers numerous times because she was beaten often. An investigative source said she altered her surname in her teenage years to make it sound more French. Boumeddiene was employed as a cashier in 2007 when she met and began dating Koulibaly in Juvisy-sur-Orge, southeast of Paris. On the 5th of July 2009, they got married in an Islamic religious ceremony. She and Koulibaly lived in Bagnols, a southern suburb of Paris, and were very religious. In 2010, during 4 days of questioning after police discovered large amounts of assault rifle ammunition in their flat, Boumeddiene told counter-terrorism officers that she saw some terrorist attacks as justifiable. She told investigators that she and Koulibaly had visited French-Algerian jihadist terrorist Jamal Beghal for crossbow practice. In October 2014, she and Koulibaly went to perform the Hajj in Mecca, the pilgrimage obligatory for every Muslim who is able to do so. Police say Boumeddiene was frequently in contact with Cherif Kouachi's wife, including 500 calls between them in 2014. She and Koulibaly disappeared in December 2014. Escape and manhunt. According to Spanish authorities, Koulibaly drove Boumeddiene from France to Madrid, Spain, on the 31st of December 2014, and stayed with her until the 2nd of January 2015. According to Turkish authorities, on the 2nd of January 2015, Boumeddiene flew from Madrid to Istanbul, Turkey, with 23-year-old Mehdi Sabri Belhoussen, a French citizen of North African origin whose brother Mohammed was convicted of terrorism charges in 2010 in France and imprisoned for a year in Villepinte prison, and both had return tickets dated the 9th of January that they never used. Because of her suspicious behavior, Turkey's intelligence agency, the National Intelligence Organization (MIT), put her under surveillance, following her movements for 2 days, listening to her cell phone conversations, and tracking her cell phone until she left Turkey. While in Turkey, the two stayed at a hotel in Istanbul in adjoining rooms, according to Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu. Turkish officials said she and Mehdi Sabri Belhoussen left Istanbul for Şanlıurfa in southeastern Turkey close to the Syrian border on the 4th of January. They stayed there 4 days, during which time Boumeddiene phoned France several times. Boumeddiene is believed to have then crossed the Syria-Turkey border into Syria with Sabri on the 8th of January, on the day Koulibaly shot and killed a policewoman, using her car in the attack. Cavusoglu said, "We understand this thanks to telephone recordings. The last recorded phone call from her was on the 10th of January, from the Islamic State of Iraq in the Levant-controlled town of Tel Abyad in Syria, close to the border and directly across it from Akakale. The New York Times stated that she is reported to have fled abroad, possibly to Syria, to try and join the Islamic State, to which Mr. Coulibaly declared allegiance. Boumeddiene is currently being sought in connection with having allegedly helped Coulibaly commit his attacks, and has been described by newspapers as France's most wanted woman. She is described by French police as armed and extremely dangerous, having trained to use firearms, and is on the run. A French police official said Boumeddiene is part of a terrorist cell of about 8 people. In February 2015, French authorities were investigating whether a woman in a video released the 3rd of February by French-speaking ISIS fighters might be Boumeddiene. The video, titled Blow Up France 2, shows a woman standing next to the ISIS speaker, wearing camouflage clothing and holding a weapon. The Islamic State's magazine The Beak praised her in a long interview, and Hayat Boumeddiene, who was killed in the later Paris attacks, was a fan of hers and lauded her on Facebook. In March 2019, Dorothy Macaire, wife of Fabien Klein, claimed that Boumeddiene was killed in late February during the Battle of Bagaz-Falkane. Maguire claimed that Boumeddiene was killed when an airstrike struck an Islamic State of Iraq in the Levant safe house containing various French jihadists. These claims were corroborated by other evacuees, however, they could not be confirmed. In March 2020, a French jihadist woman told a judge that she met Boumeddiene in October 2019 at the Al-Hol camp. Boumeddiene was staying under a false identity and managed to escape. French intelligence services think that this piece of information is plausible. French conviction and sentencing. On December 16, 2020, a French court convicted Boumeddiene in absentia of financing terrorism and belonging to a criminal terrorist network and sentenced her to 30 years in jail. See also list of fugitives from justice who disappeared. References